Hello everyone, hope y'all are having a good day. It is July 30th and today I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about pretty much the normal stuff. I'm going to be talking about severe weather and just overall the general pattern we're going to be going into over the next week. Pattern's going to change quite a bit, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we're also going to talk about the tropics at the end of the video, which the tropics are. The tropics are, especially in the Atlantic, there's not a lot going on, which is good. But that will change soon. But this is the Day 1 convective outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have a slight risk for areas of central and eastern Nebraska, areas of southwest Iowa, and areas in northern Missouri. Omaha is kind of in the center of that. We have a marginal risk that surrounds that, of course, from southeastern Wyoming down almost to St. Louis. I think St. Louis might be in that. I don't think so, no. And then we have another marginal risk in areas of the southeast, for areas of upstate South Carolina, and areas of central and eastern North Carolina. 2% total risk up in Nebraska, Iowa, and Missouri. 15% wind threat and 15% hail threat as well up there. And then day 2, we have 2 marginal risks. One up in the Midwest, and then one kind of in the southern plains. And then on day 3, we have a marginal risk in eastern North Carolina and southeast Virginia, back in the Mid-Atlantic states again. So let's take a look at the models for today. Man, yeah. So you can see this is the HRRR. This is 9 p.m. tonight. It indicates some storms maybe from Nebraska. Definitely looks like this would definitely be the area I'd want to watch for severe weather. Kind of looks like this would definitely be the area I'd want to watch because the jet stream's kind of like that. Let's go ahead and take a sounding in eastern Nebraska. All right, this is quite interesting actually. We do have a pretty capped environment, but instability is not terrible. We do have a capped environment, so that could be because this is after dark. So sometimes after dark you get more capping. This is 9 p.m. Shear profiles are kind of interesting though. There would be a bit of a tornado threat with this. We're gonna have to watch a small tornado threat today, and maybe in areas of eastern Nebraska. We're gonna want to watch out for that. By 04Z, we're getting into close to midnight now. You can see the storms are approaching the Omaha area. Take a sounding, but southwest Iowa, and once again, it's a little capped. We have plenty of instability. Definitely damaging winds and a little bit of a tornado threat. Once again, a small tornado threat. I don't think we're gonna see much action when it comes to tornadoes later, but I do think it's gonna be interesting. Take a sounding in northern Missouri now, and this is not as good. This is much more cap. We have less instability. Definitely a little bit of a damaging wind threat, and I do think that the highest hail threat will be in kind of this area, eastern Nebraska, a little bit of western Iowa, and the highest damaging wind threat will probably be maybe a bit further to the southeast. And we could even have some damaging winds as far south as southern Iowa, northern Missouri with this. Awesome. Really not a severe weather outbreak, just you could have a chance of getting some severe weather. I mean, I'd say the best chance is in the Omaha area. Pretty good chance. You'll get a thunderstorm later. No, it's not looking like we're gonna see like it's not looking like we're gonna see like 70, 80 mile per hour winds with this. But it could be, some of these storms will be severe. And yeah, so that is today, and really tonight. And tomorrow really doesn't look too good for severe weather. We'd want to watch maybe this area. Looks like we might have some kind of storm system up in Canada, so maybe this area. It's kind of, I think that's where the SPC has marginal risks for day 2. Yeah, definitely we'd want to watch maybe southern Missouri, southern Illinois. Let's take a sounding there. And not really much of a Tor threat, damaging winds, some smaller hail for sure. I think that's going to be the main threat with a southern marginal risk. Let's take a sounding in Oklahoma as well. It's not good. Those will just be general thunderstorms, if anything. Now let's take a sounding up in Wisconsin once again. I mean, yeah, not that good. But definitely we might have a slight chance, a small chance of some severe weather in Wisconsin, maybe Michigan as well, and down into Missouri and Illinois. That's Saturday. That's tomorrow. So yeah, that's the severe weather side of things. Now I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna switch topics to because we're gonna be having a pretty significant pattern change. So let's go over to tropical tidbits here, and this is let's take a look at the temperatures here. So this is temperatures this afternoon. We can see this is 18Z. This is around 2 p.m. this afternoon. I mean, nothing. I mean, the Midwest, the Great Lakes states, pretty cool. 70s, 60s, maybe upper 60s. No, that's not bad. Northeast, not bad. Maybe the coastal areas in the Northeast, like New York City, Boston. A little bit on the hotter side. But then the Southeast, and then the Central Plains and the Southern Plains are really going to have some heat problems, and also the West areas of East Washington areas of Oregon and California and Arizona. We can see though, South is going to have a pretty big pattern change. So today we're going to be seeing 90s, maybe even close to 100 in some areas like South Alabama, South Georgia, low country of South Carolina. Could see some area. Some areas will probably hit 100 today. And then we can see not cooling off much at night. At night it's still 70s, barely even getting in the mid 70s in areas like Montgomery, Alabama. That's warm. And then even tomorrow will be warm once again. With the northern plains heating up as well. And does look the GFS is kind of consistent. Now we're going to see a little bit of a cold pocket, probably due to rain in this area. So even some mid 60s in the afternoon. That's pretty good. And then Sunday morning, the first morning of August. Sorry. Sunday morning, we're going to see, but it's going to be pretty cool across much of the country, with the exception of areas of the Southwest. But still above average in some areas in Montana and even in the South. But definitely the Great Lakes are really just the northern tier of the country. Will be quite cool. You can see even 50s in Ohio, Indiana. Even I wouldn't be surprised if some areas even get down into the low 50s, maybe even the upper 40s in the Arrowhead of Minnesota. So pretty good. That's pretty cool this time of year. And we're getting closer to fall. So that is good. And then Sunday we can see it's going to be another hot day across the South. But if you notice, it's starting to get pushed south. So areas like maybe Huntsville, Alabama, or to the north of Huntsville, areas in like Blairsville, Georgia, will be starting to cool off a little bit. We can see Central Plains still quite warm, 80s and maybe 90s. Even still pushing 100 by Dallas, Fort Worth, down into South Georgia, low country of South Carolina. But it is starting to cool off. We have the heat building back across the west and the central U.S. Great Lakes are still kind of not really cool. Maybe some areas in Michigan will stay on the cooler side. Indiana, Ohio, 70s, pretty warm, but definitely kind of nice. Could be worse. And then August 2nd, we can see 50s once again. And it is starting to get a bit cooler across the south. We can see maybe even some 60s coming in the areas of Mississippi, maybe northern and central Alabama and North Georgia. Now the heat has it's kind of gotten pushed away. Monday afternoon we can see definitely not as hot. We don't see much 90s. Even areas like South Georgia, South Alabama, South Mississippi, noticeably cooler. Now it's gonna be humid. It's not gonna be like cool and crisp like we could see, like like we could see in like September, or it's not gonna be like cool crisp fall air. No, it's gonna be humid. Uh, you can see the Great Lakes still relatively cool, 70s. Uh, but once again, it's not gonna feel like cool and crisp. And then Tuesday, we can see this is Tuesday morning, August 3rd. We can see maybe even some areas trying to get down into the 40s in interior Northeast. Maybe even some of the coastal areas like Boston trying to get down into the 50s. We can see 50s back down into the southern Appalachians. 60s maybe in north central Alabama, north and central Georgia, maybe upstate South Carolina as well. No, we can see next week will be pretty slightly below average for temp-wise in the south. But then we can see the central plains and the northern plains heat up around August 7th. Now that's not too consistent, but it is kind of consistent that we might see a bit of a heat up by next weekend. The weekend of August 7th and August 8th. We could see a bit of a heat up across the central and northern plains and starting to get a heat up in the south. But you can see the mid-Atlantic states are kind of cool, but this is far out, so this is going to change. But so don't like take these numbers seriously. Just kind of get the general pattern. So yeah, now that's that. Now once again, let's look at the tropics. This is the 5-day tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center. We have really nothing to watch in the Atlantic, so that's good. Yeah. So now I'm gonna go back and look at the severe weather that we had in Wisconsin on the 28th. It was a pretty active day. We had 256. In total, we had 294 reports. We can see several tornado reports across central Wisconsin, down even into southeastern Wisconsin. 2 high wind reports, or 2. Those black squares are high wind reports. So that means that those were high. Or I can't speak. Let's just go read them. So normally, let's try and find them. There's a lot of wind reports though. Okay, here we go. This is a high wind one. So okay, let's look at the other one. Okay, so let's just do this. So a high wind report basically means that there is winds of greater than 65 knots. Now the normal wind reports, which is just the blue triangles you see pretty much in a lot of places. The blue triangles are just normal wind reports. We can see we have a lot of those, especially around the Chicago area. We had a lot. 10 tornado reports. One of those was in Utah. We can see there was a land spout, of course. Okay. And yeah, so pretty active day. And yesterday was also very active. We had 7 tornado reports going from Indiana into New Jersey. Also 161 wind reports. In total, 187 reports. So pretty active day. Yesterday as well. But yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back on either Saturday or Sunday. But yes, goodbye.